Anytime you're ready to start for the day or after having a meal, you want to make sure you do a walk around the equipment. I'm going to check for any hoses that might have come loose in folding or unfolding. You want to look for any seeds or fertilizer that's laying on the toolbar itself. If you see kernels of material or fertilizer anywhere on the toolbar, more than likely you have a hole in one of either your individual unit hoses or a main run hose. And just start looking where there's a lot of seed. You'll usually be able to find where the hole is, and you can usually wrap it up with Gorilla Tape and keep that seed going in the ground. The conveyor is a great source of pinch points and the potential to get pulled in. Always leave the main screen in place and keep your hands free and clear when the conveyor is moving. You get a pinch point here where it latches. You get a pinch point up here where the arm latches out. You got a pinch point here. Just be very, very careful whenever you're handling the conveyor or auger when you're unfolding or folding in to keep your hands clear of those pinch points. Hitting this handle here seems to be a pastime of farm rescue volunteers. Anytime you come up from calibration or you're trying to adjust one of the transmissions, it seems like you're always bumping into this handle. Just watch yourself, that and the transmission, or when you hang in bags for calibration, this bar here seems to get people every day. The ladder is another potential for an injury. Just be very careful, hang on to both sides, and watch your footing to not stick your leg through the rungs. And when you're up on top, be very careful when you're handling the lid or you're on the catwalk to not lose your balance. And to check the oil on the dipstick, right in the middle. Got your fuel filter, got your water or antifreeze, your hydraulic and transmission fluid is up top. You can check that through the gauge on the side of the hood. Before starting the machine, one wants to look around, make sure everyone's clear, nobody's working on the machine, and you're clear to move. With an articulate tractor, one needs to be very careful not to be standing when someone turns the wheel, because when you turn the wheel, it causes the wheels to come together, and when they come together, they come all the way tight. And if you're in between the fuel tank below me and the back tire, you will be crushed. So anytime you're getting in and out of these four-wheel drives, you want to make sure you don't grab the wheel, because if you grab the wheel, you may end up pinching somebody who happens to be in between the machine. Whenever the windows get dirty, be very careful as you traverse the side of the cab. There is this handrail. Hang on to it firmly and watch where you place your step. We're going to go over the basics of what an air seeder is. You've got a pump that's on the back of the cart that's causing airflow. As the air comes through the manifold, it is separated into 8 different runs. Those 8 runs feed the entire seeder. There's a meter that controls the flow of product out of the bin into that airstream at a controlled rate. That air carries the seed and fertilizer through. Each individual hopper has different products in, carries it up. Look over here, and anytime that needle is in the green, you're good to go. If the needle is all the way to the left on any one of the gauges, you have a lid more than likely not sealed. So go back up top and adjust the lid and try to get a seal. Come back down and check. Onto the toolbar from the air cart. From the toolbar, they branch off. Each branch is called a tower, and each tower, there's 8 towers. From left to right is B1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. From the individual tower manifolds, they flow into 12 different units through these hoses. The manifold distributes the seed evenly for each of the 8 runs into each of its respective 12 openers. You've got the individual hoses, one of 12 from each of the manifolds, that runs the seed down into a boot. The boot runs right along the side of the disc, and the seed comes out of that boot and is dropped right into the furrow right behind the cut wheel. You got the gauge wheel. The gauge wheel sets the depth that the cutting disc is allowed to go into the soil. The cutting disc is tipped at a slight angle, which creates a narrow furrow or trench in the ground. As it turns, it creates that trench. This is the depth control gauge on the individual opener. Every opener has this depth control gauge, and this is what determines the height of the gauge wheel. If the gauge wheel is higher, the disc opener cuts deeper and creates a deeper furrow. For example, if it's down in this notch down here, you're at a 1/2 inch. If you allow the wheel to come all the way up in the air, therefore allowing the disc opener to go way deep into the ground, we are now at 3.5 inch depth. So you've got an adjustment range from a 1/2 inch down here all the way to 3.5, and they work in 1/4 inch increments as you work up. Right behind that, you have the packing wheel. The packing wheel rotates inside the furrow and causes the seed to have a good seed to soil contact. Behind the pack wheel is the closing wheel, and this goes up and down, as does the pack wheel with the ground, as it goes up and down and allow for rocks and clods and no-till conditions. And the closing wheel is set at an angle both laterally and horizontally so that it flings dirt, a loose layer of covering of dirt, over top of the seed bed. These are hydraulic cutoffs. When you're in the field and you're seeding, they're going to be in this position here, which allows oil to cause the cylinders to rise and fall. But when you go to transport mode, you want to turn them 1/4 of a turn. That closes the valve and does not allow oil to flow into the individual cylinders, therefore holding up all the openers. You always want to turn this when you go to transport down the road. This here is a visual example of what not to do when the wings are being either unfolded or folded up. One has to walk way around to avoid ending up like this poor guy. Another thing to keep in mind when running this heavy, wide, and beautiful machinery is how wide your wings are. This particular toolbar is 60 foot. Some others are 50, some are 42, but you need to be aware of where the outside wing tips are at all times. Height can also be an issue. You need to make sure you look out for low bridges, low power lines, or anything that has a low clearance. On this particular air seeder, 60 foot, you're 16 feet, 11 inches high. Always be aware of how low the branches are or anything else that might come in contact when you're in the transport mode. While this is fine John Deere equipment that RDO provides us with, it is still big and it's dangerous. It has 42 tires. Each one of those tires knows no difference between a rock or you. It's going to continue to roll. Each one of those openers are razor sharp, and it makes no difference whether it's cutting through and slicing through soil or slicing through your flesh. Just remember, this equipment is massive and powerful. Give it the respect it deserves.